Here's an amazing story for you folks. An Army captain flatlined. He was dead for 15 minutes after being shot by a sniper in Iraq in 2007. Doctors used 30 units of blood before making him stable enough to head to Walter Reed. Not only did he miraculously not suffer any brain damage, but after only 5 months of recovery, he returned to Iraq to finish his deployment. Joining us now, Captain Joshua Mantz. Mantz, that is, right?
It's Mantz.
It's Mantz. Right. Okay. Great to see you, Captain.
Hey, it's great to see you, too. It's a pleasure to be here.
What an amazing story. So we hear so many times about soldiers getting injured and unfortunately passing away. You were officially dead.
You know, the medical team that was responsible for my injury never quit. They threw all forms of futility out the window, and it was absolutely an incredible effort on their part.
So take us back to April 21st, 2007. What happens to you?
We were on a dismounted patrol, and we were engaged by an enemy sniper. The bullet they used was similar to a .50 caliber round. It actually passed through the left arm of one of my NCOs, Staff Sergeant Marlon Harper, and exited out his chest. The round then entered my upper right thigh and severed my femoral artery.
So you were bleeding to death?
I was. I didn't know I was shot at first. I just knew there was something wrong. Experiencing a lot of physiological symptoms like slow motion, fast motion, auditory distortion.
But you tell the story about how you had, was it 30 seconds or 1 minute before you went unconscious? And what were you saying to yourself during that time?
Essentially, in a catastrophic injury, your body will pull blood to the vital organs in order to protect itself. And I could actually feel that happening. I could feel the blood creeping from my legs, and after the blood left the legs, they locked off. It crept up to my quads, and they locked off. When the feeling crept in my stomach, it became extremely difficult to breathe, like I was running 400-meter wind sprints around a track and unable to stop while breathing through a straw. At that point, I realized the injury was getting out of control, and I started to repeat 3 names in my head over and over again.
Which were?
Which were my mom, my sister Melissa, and my sister Kendra.
And you believe that saying their names over and over again held you on long enough to get help, but you still died, right?
Oh, I still died. I was only able to do that for about 60 seconds, and then that blood creeping sensation moved to my chest, and I consciously knew that that was it. I said my last thought, I took my last breath, and I died.
Now, you say that you saw no afterlife. You were dead technically for 15 minutes.
That's correct.
And you woke up when?
I woke up about 2 days later in the green zone. Wow. To learn that I had flatlined for that long. And, you know, it was an absolute miracle. They expected me to not wake up at all, first of all. But if I did wake up, they expected me to have serious brain damage. And you know, when the nurse asked me what happened, I recalled it to her in as much detail as I'm telling you right now.
So during that time, doctors were actually going to soldiers right then and there and saying, we need your blood. Immediately, they put 30 units of blood into you during this very complicated surgery. You ended up going back to Iraq to serve out your duty and your time? I
did, and it's a tribute to the systems that the Army had in place to get me back on my feet and the incredible support from my family. I went back for 2 reasons. One was for my men. You know, 1 bullet took out 2 guys on the same day. 2 of the senior leaders of that platoon. A month later, the platoon sergeant was hit by an IED and got medevaced out of theater.
And your message now is that you feel that we should be spending more time and attention on soldiers coming home with emotional issues.
Well, we need to. You know, I can personally attest that our physically wounded soldiers are well taken care of and have streamlined access to the best medical care in the world. But the truth is, we've spent, you know, our military health care costs have increased by $30 billion since this war started. And it's primarily attributed to a drastic influx in emotional and behavioral health issues. The Army has an excellent plan to address that. It focuses on preventative maintenance, focuses on enhancing a soldier's level of resilience and his ability to bounce back from adversity, and intervening in their lives before they become emotionally distressed.
Well, obviously, you have a lot of adversity. You came back from dying. Army Captain Joshua Mantz, who's now at the 1st Infantry in Fort Riley, thank you so much for sharing your very compelling story with us.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for your service.
Take care.